This is a review of C doublings that occur in Scotland the Brave. And on this page, I have highlighted in orange the phrases in the tune that have C doublings. There are more than just these, but they're repeats of these. So we're going to take a look at these. I have them numbered 1 through 10, and there is an actual repeat here. The ones 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 are actually, it's the same phrase, but they're broken up in different ways, just to get accustomed to playing these C doublings the same, no matter how we're phrasing them. So we're going to start with phrase number 1. And this one, I'll model it first. It's right after the low A of the tarlua, and that is on a downbeat, so it would count like 1 and we're holding that low A, right? We're holding it because it's dotted. It's a dotted eighth note, so it's do, da. And what we're really focusing on here is the C doubling itself. We want the grace notes to be nice and even. That's what we're going for. So let's go ahead and play phrase number 1 with the metronome. And 1, and 2, 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 and so what you want to be doing is listening for your grace notes in your C doubling. Go ahead and pause the video if you need to do that on your own, and we'll move on to phrase number 2. Okay, this is phrase number 2 in Scotland the Brave that has a C doubling in it. And in this particular phrase, the C doubling starts right at the beginning of the phrase. It's a C doubling going up to E, and then we have a high A doubling. All right? So that one sounds like this. We'll do it on the beat. Ready? And 1, and 2, 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 and okay, so that's phrase number 2. Feel free to stop the video, try it on your own. Again, you're listening for your C doubling, reminding yourself that you want the duration of each grace note to be the same. Remember the 3 grace note exercise. Right? And then in a C doubling, it's that's what we want. Okay, let's move on to phrase number 3. Now this one starts on an E. It's from the beat before, from that high A. And then there's the C doubling in the middle. And then it's an E grace note to low A. That sounds like this. Okay, so we'll do it with the metronome. And it'll be on an and, so we'll count it off as 1, and 2. 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 Okay, if you want to do that one on your own, go ahead and pause before we move on to the next phrase. Okay, the next phrase is phrase 4. Phrase 4 comes from a D, C doubling up to E. This D is cut in the music, in the actual tune. We're going to play it on the and beat of the preceding beat, I should say, the backbeat. So this will be on an and. Okay, so the way that'll go in the count will be and 2, and so we'll count it 1 and 2, 1 and 2. Okay, with the metronome. So 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. Okay, now phrases 4 and 5 can be combined, or excuse me, this is phrase 5, sorry. Phrase 5 is next, and phrase 5 is just a C doubling with an E grace note down to low A. Just the C doubling with the E grace note down to low A. So that is just like that. Let's do it with the metronome. 1 and 2 and sorry, I added a beat there. Let's do it again. Just C doubling to low A. 1 and 2 and 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 okay, listening for your C doubling there, hopefully. Now what we want to do is combine phrases 4 and 5, all right? And when we combine them, we have this D pickup note, we have a C doubling, E, another C doubling, followed by an E grace note to low A. And this phrase sounds like this. Like that. So we're going to get ready in the D position, and we're going to play that on an and. So it'll go 1 and 2. That's how the count will go. Ready? And 1 and 2. 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 1 Okay, so that was phrase 4 and 5 combined. Next, we have phrases 6 and 7. And these are very similar to the phrase up above, but it's not exactly the same because here we are starting on the F before the D that was up above. And this is on purpose to go ahead and try this in a different way, different phrasing. So this is G grace note to F, D, C doubling. Phrase 6. That will start on a beat and it'll go like this. It will go 1 and 2 and like that. Let's try it. Ready? And 1 and 2 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 and Okay, that might be a good one to try on your own if that tempo was too fast. But the trick on that one is playing the D fast enough and then getting down to the C doubling on time for the next beat. All right, the next phrase is phrase 7. And this one starts on an E pickup note, C doubling, E grace note down to low A. So it's again, it's similar to up here, but we're breaking it down into a different phrase. And so this one, the E will be on a pickup note. It'll be on an and, so it would go 1 and 2. Like that. So let's try it with the metronome. It'll be 1 and 2. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Listening to your C doubling, remember? 1 and 2. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Okay, that was phrase 7. Now, phrase 8 starts on a low A. It's a quarter note low A, and then we go up to a C doubling and an E. So the low A, we don't need to play the low G grace note on the low A. We'll just start on the low A. So it would go 1 and 2 and like that. Let's go ahead and do it with the metronome. So it'll go 1 and 2 and, excuse me, I started on the wrong note. Let's do it again. 1 and 2 and 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 listening to your C doubling all the time. Ready? 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and okay, that was phrase 8. Let's take a look at phrase 9. This one goes from E, C doubling, back up to E. This E is on an and. So it would go 1 and 2. The phrase alone without counting is. Okay, let's try with the metronome. It starts on an and. And 1 and 2. 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 Always listening to your C doubling grace notes and making sure they're nice and even. I think that last one I did wasn't quite so even. That last one right there. So that's the point of the exercise though. Feel free to pause the video at any time and try that out on your own. So we just did phrase 9. Now we're moving to the last phrase, which starts on a D and it has a C doubling down to B. D, C doubling B. The D is on an and. Okay. So if I were just counting it out without the metronome, it would go 1 and 2. Right? All right, let's try it with the metronome. It'll be on an and. So we start 1 and 2. 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 All right, those are the 10 phrases with C doublings in Scotland the Brave. Give that a try, pausing the video as you need to, and have fun.